Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be going over simplifying fractions. And you can use two different methods to simplify your fractions. So the first method is to divide. I'll just do divide by your GCF, and that is your greatest common factor. So for an example, if we had the fraction 30 over 45, and I needed to simplify this in simplest form. So we're going to do a factor tree for both 30 and 45. 30, I can factor down to 3 times 10, and then my 10, I can factor down to 2 times 5. 45, I can factor into 9 times 5, and my 9, I can factor into 3 times 3. So my 30, we said, is 2 times 3 times 5, and then for my 45, we said is 3 times 3 times 5. The number that both my 30 and 45 share is going to be the 3 right here. And we also have a 5 right here. So this 3, I'm going to write one time. And then this 5, I'm also going to write one time. So we have 3 times 5 here. This is going to be 15. So your GCF is 15. So I'm going to divide 30 over 45 divided by that GCF so I can simplify my answer. I'm going to do top and bottom by 15. So 30 divided by 15 is going to equal 2. And then 45 divided by 15, this is going to equal 3. So if I had to simplify my answer, it's going to be 2 over 3. So the second method is to do prime factorization. So we already said 30 over 45, we said is going to be, so my 30 we said is 2 times 3 times 5. And then my 45 we already said is 3 times 3 times 5. I can cancel out my 3 here, and I can also cancel out the 5 from here. So I am left in my numerator, I am left with a 2, and in my denominator, I am left here with just a 3. So your final answer, if you use method number 2, you will still get 2 over 3. So let's try the fraction 8 over 72. So if I need to simplify this into its simplest form, I'm going to, let's do method 1. So 8, we have 4 times 2, and my 4 I can factor into 2 times 2. For my 72, I can factor into 9 times 8, and my 9 is 3 times 3. My 8 is 2 times 4. My 4 is 2 times 2. So if I come here, my 8 we said is 2 times 2 times 2. And then for my 72, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So I'm going to find my GCF, my common shared factors between the 8 and 72. We have a pair right here, and we also have a match right here, and we also have a match right here. So all the other numbers, these 3's are going to be out. I do not have any other common shared factors. So this 2 I'm going to write one time, times this other 2, and then times this other 2 here. So we have 2 times 2 times 2. This is going to equal 8. Since my GCF is 8, I am going to divide top and bottom by my GCF so that we can simplify our fraction. 8 divided by 8, and then we have 72 divided by 8. So my numerator, 8 divided by 8 is 1. And then 72 divided by 8 is going to equal 9. So if you were to simplify your fraction, that's going to be 1 over 9. So if you did method number 2, we have 8 over 72 here. My 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. And then 72 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. All right, so I'm going to cancel out my common factors. So I can cancel out my 2's here. I can cancel out another 2 and another set of 2's. Don't forget though, your numerator, you do have your imaginary 1 here in my numerator. So my numerator is going to be 1. And then your denominator, we're left with 3 times 3, and that's going to give us 9. So if you did method 2, your answer is going to be 1 over 9 as well. All right, so let's say we have the fraction negative 60 over 75. So let's go ahead and do our factor tree for 60 and 75. 60, I can factor down to 6 times 10. My 6 is 2 times 3. and my 10 here is 2 times 5. My 75 I can factor into 15 times 5. My 15 is 3 times 5. So my 60 we said is 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And then my 75 is 3 times 5 times 5. So your GCF between the 60 and 75 common shared factor is going to be, we have a 3 right here, and we also have a 5 here. So this 3, I'm going to write 1 time, and then we have our 5, I'm also going to write 1 time from here. So your GCF, 3 times 5 is 15. So I am going to divide top and bottom by 15. So negative 60 divided by 15 is going to give us a negative 4. And then you have 75 divided by 15. This is going to give us 5. So your final answer is negative 4 over 5. And remember, you have to include the negative in your final answer because you do have a negative here in your original problem. So let's try method number 2. 60 we said is 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And then 75 is 3 times 5 times 5. So I'm going to cancel out my common shared factor. So I can cancel out my 3 here, and I can also cancel out the 5. So my numerator, I am left with 2 times 2, and that's going to give us 4. And then my denominator, I'm only left with a 5, so I'm just going to put a 5 here. However, don't forget, you have to include the negative in your final answer. So I'm going to put my negative here. So we have negative 4 over 5 as well. Let's try 90 over 120. So let's go ahead and do our factor tree. 90 is 3 times 30. 30 is 3 times 10. And 10 is 2 times 5. So my 120 is 12 times 10. 12 is 3 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. And then my 10 is 2 times 5. So my 90, we said, is 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And then my 120 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So we have a 2 right here. We have a 3 right here. And we also have a matching 5. So I'm going to write my 2 one time here times 3, which is here, and then times your 5, which is right here. So we have my GCF is going to be 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5, this is going to equal 30. So I am going to divide my 90 over 120, top and bottom, by the GCF. 90 divided by 30, this is going to give us 3. And then your denominator, 120 divided by 30, this is going to give us 4. So your simplest form is going to be 3 over 4. Let's try method 2, 90 over 120. So if I go ahead and cancel out my common shared factors, I'm going to cancel out my 2. I'm also going to cancel out the 3's. And I'm also going to cancel out the 5. So my numerator, I am only left with a 3. And then my denominator, we have 2 2's here. So 2 times 2, that's going to equal 4. So if you do method 2, you're still going to get 3 over 4. So let's try 99 over 300. So 99, I'm going to factor into 11 times 9. 9, I'm going to factor into 3 times 3. For my 300, we have 30 times 10. 30 is 3 times 10. 10 is 2 times 5. This 10 here is also 2 times 5. For my 99, we said is 3 times 3 times 11. And then 300 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. So our GCF, the common shared factor, we only have 1 3 that we can match up. All the other numbers do not have any common shared factors. So your GCF is going to be 3. So I am going to divide my 99 over 300 by my GCF. Divided by 3. And then we have 300 divided by 3. 99 divided by 3 is going to be 33. And then 300 divided by 3, that's going to be 100. So your simplest form is going to be 33 over 100. So now let's try method number 2. So if I cancel out my 3's here, in my numerator, I'm left with 3 times 11. It's going to give us 33. And then my denominator, we have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 5, that's going to give us 100. So if you do method 2, you're going to also get 33 over 100. So let's try negative 50 over 1,000. And I need to simplify this fraction into its simplest form. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to factor my 50 and my 1,000. So 50 is going to be 5 times 10. My 10 is 2 times 5. My 1,000, we have 100 times 10. My 100 is 20 times 5. My 20 is 4 times 5. My 4 is 2 times 2. For my 10 is 2 times 5 here. Right, so my 50, we said, is 2 times 5 times 5. And then for my 1,000, we have 1, 2, 3 2's. So 1, 2, 3, and then the rest are 5. So 1, 2, 3, 3 5's as well. All right, so the common shared factor between 50 and 1,000, we have a 2 here. We also have a matching pair right here for my 5's, and we have another pair of 5 here. So this 2, I'm going to write 1 time, times the 5 here. I'm going to write this 1 time, times the other match here. I'm going to also write this 1 time. So we have 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 5, this is going to be 50. So your GCF is 50. So I'm going to divide my top and bottom, 50 divided by 1,000, by the 50 that we have here. So negative 50 divided by 50 is going to give us a negative 1. And then 1,000 divided by 50, this is going to give us 20. So your answer here, if you were to simplify that fraction, it's going to be negative 1 over 20. So let's do method 2. For method number 2, I can cancel out my 2's here. I can also cancel out the 5's and another pair of 5. So don't forget, we have our imaginary 1 here in my numerator. And then denominator, we have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is going to be 20. So my denominator is going to be 20. And then, of course, don't forget, you do have your negative here that you need to include your answer. So negative 1 over 20 is your answer as well. So let's try one more example. Let's say we had to simplify negative 90 over 6,000. 90 is 30 times 3. 30 is 3 times 10. 10 is 2 times 5. 6,000 is going to be 300 times 20. 300 is 3 times 100. 100 is 20 times 5. 20 is 4 times 5. And then 4 is 2 times 2. And then for my 20 here, we have 4 times 5 again. 4 is 2 times 2. So my 90 we have is 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 in my numerator. And then my 6,000, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 1, 3. So I'm going to put my 3 here. And then we have 1, 2, 3 5's. So I'm going to put times 5, times 5, and then times 5 again here. So the common shared factor between the two. So we have matching pair right here for my 2's. We have a 3 matching pair for my 3's, which is here. We also have a matching pair for my 5, which is right here as well. So my 2's here, I'm going to write this 2 1 time. This other 3 here, I'm going to write times 3. And then this 5 here, I'm going to write times 5. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5, this is going to give us 30. So your GCF is 30. I'm going to divide top and bottom the 90 over 6,000 by 30. So negative 90 divided by 30, this is going to give us a negative 3. And then 6,000 divided by 30, this is going to give us 200. So your simplest form is going to be negative 3 over 200. So let's try the second method. So if I did the second method, I can cancel out my 2's here. I can also cancel out the 3's here and a 5 as well. So in my numerator, we have our 3. And then my denominator, we have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 5 here is 40. And then 40 times this other 5 here is going to give us 200. And then you have our negative here that we have to include in our answer. So you're also going to get negative 3 over 200. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.